Alright guys, here we are. New set of notes. Let's get to it. Alright, make sure you have a paper and pencil ready to take notes. Right? Paper and pencil, ready to work. Alright, first thing we're going to do is we're going to see the name of these notes. And these are called linear inequalities. So inequalities, just as a reminder, means not equal. It's either less or greater, right? Unequal, something is unequal. When something is equal, it means it's the same. When something is unequal, it means there's not balance, right? There's no balance, it's unequal, all right? So, the first thing that we are going to recognize here is this first bullet point. It says graph B point, right? We're going to graph the y-intercept first, right? Second lightning bolt here says we're going to graph second point with slope, m, right? Slope is m. Third lightning bolt here says solid or broken line. We have to figure out whether the line is going to be a solid or a broken line. And that's relatively easy. The way we do that is any inequality that has, let me do this a little darker here. Okay. Any inequality that has this, right? The equal sign is going to be a solid line. So it could be the other way, greater than, right? Solid line, because we have equal and equal, right? If it says equal to, right, this says less than or equal to is going to be a solid line. Greater than or equal to is going to be a solid line, right? Broken line, it's going to be if it's no equal to. So if it's just less than or greater than, it's going to be a broken line, right? So this one is going to be a solid line, and this one is going to be a broken line, right? So again, the difference is these equals to, right? If it had equal, it's going to be a solid line. If it does not have equal, which these don't, it's going to be a broken line, right? Okay. Last bullet point here, right, is are we going to shade up or down? Right? Are we going to shade up or are we going to shade down? Well, this one is also fairly easy to remember, right? Is if this is greater than, right, then we're going to shade up, because it's greater, right? When something is greater, it is up, above, right? We're going to shade down if it's less than, right? We're going to shade down. Now, this includes also if it says greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to, right? So this one we're going to shade up. Greater than, less than, we're going to shade down, right? And those are the main points that we need to consider when we're going to graph, right? So let's take a look and let's graph here our first example. So always, always, always we read the instructions. The instructions say sketch the graph of each linear inequality. So we're going to sketch this graph. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to identify my B and my M. So my B here is my last part of my equation, which is -2. And my M, which is my slope, right, which is next to X here, is negative 5 over 2. Now you're wondering, how did he get m and b? So let's remind each other that our slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, where m is next to x and b is at the end of the equation, right? So b is at the end of the equation, right? Just like here. And m is next to x. Okay? So let's follow our steps. First, we're going to graph point B. Then we're going to graph a second point with the slope. So let us graph point B. So on the y-axis, we're going to find negative 2. And we're going to put a point on negative 2. Just like that. Next, we're going to find a second point with our slope, right? So this says negative 5 over 2. So that means I'm going to go down 5 and to the right 2. So here, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a problem, right? I can't go down 5. There's no room. So let's do the opposite. Let's go up 5, right? So let's go up 5 here. So we're going to go, let's pick a different color, red. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, I'm doing the opposite of these. I went up 5. That means I'm going to go left 2. So I went up 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to go left 2. 2. And that's where my second point goes. Now, normally, we are going to shade, right? We're going to draw the line. But this is an inequality. If you notice, this says y is greater than or equal to negative 5 over 2x. Y is greater than or equal to. It's got the little equal sign here. Right? So, if it's got the equal sign, it's going to be a solid line. So I'm going to make a solid line here. Right? So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go past my second point there. And I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go past my first point, just like that. And remember, I'm going to make arrows just like that. Okay. Last step. Shade up or shade down? Well, if it's greater than, we're going to shade up. If it's less than, we're going to shade down. So let's take a look here. That is greater than. That means I'm going to shade above my line. So I'm going to take this blue here. I'm going to make it a little thinner, and I'm going to shade above my line. Look at that. And that is my solution right there. I shaded above the line. Right? This is y is greater than or equal to negative 5 over 2x minus 2. Right? There you go. Look at that. All right, let's take a look at the second example. So, same steps. I'm going to identify my b first and my m second. So my b is the last number in my equation when I have y equals 2, right? So my last number is 3. So b is equal to 3. What is my m? my m is next to x right here. Well, what the heck is next to x there? What invisible number is next to x, everyone? What invisible number is right here? I'll show you. Look at that. That 1 is next to x. Right? That 1 is next to x. So this is m is equal to 1. Oops, too much. 1, right? But I need it as a fraction, so I'm going to make it 1 over 1. So I'm going to graph my b first, my y-intercept. So on my y line here, I'm going to find b, which is 3, positive 3, right there, right? Then I'm going to go slope. My slope is going to go up 1 over 1, right? So up 1 over 1, and that's where my second point goes. Right? Now, so I did my graph my B point, graph my second point using the slope. Next, I'm going to figure out whether it's a solid or a broken line. So it's a solid line if it's got equal to the inequality, and it's a broken line if there is no equal to. So let's see here. Number 2. Look at that. No equal sign. So I know it's going to be a broken line. So let me make a broken line here between these 2 points. Look at that. Make an arrow this way, and then carefully I'm going to go that way, and I'm going to make an arrow that way. Look at that. Look at that. What happened to my music, guys? What happened to the music? Here we go. All right. So now, I got this part. Now we need to figure out whether we're going to shade up or shade down. Well, if it's greater than, then I'm going to shade up. If it's less than, then I'm going to shade down. Well, let's see what number 2 is. Number 2 is less than. That means I'm going to shade down. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to shade below, down, below my line. So look at that. Below. So everything below the line gets shaded. And there you go. Look at that. We just graphed this inequality. We just graphed these 2 inequalities right here. Right? And that right here, kiddos, are the notes. So make sure you rewind just to make sure that you are savvy and you know what to do. There's no confusion. Look what I forgot to do here, guys. I forgot to read my instructions first. I cannot forget to do that because I can't assume I know what I'm supposed to do, right? Always read the instructions first. So here we are, right? Make sure, like I said before, rewind or stop to make sure you write down everything you need to know in order to be able to do this assignment. All right? So thank you for being here, and see you next time.